Okay, so I've re-aimed the camera to give a good view of the next two capacitors. Now, this one tested okay, didn't show any sign of leakage, but this guy showed sign of leakage down here. And I think I pretty well decided all these capacitors have to go. So to get at the guy down below, I got to first get that guy out of the way. So I'm going to, so I don't want to confuse myself either, I'm going to cut him way down here. Okay, just swing him out of the way like that. And go after this, this lower one, which is at the end of the 33 with a yellow band. What would that be? I think that's, is that 33 and 5 zeros? Anyway, I'm just trying to memorize where the other end of this capacitor is. Ooh, I can't even get my cutters in there. You know, this is the challenge with the German radio and other makes, that they tend to just layer stuff up. And yeah, I can't get in there. No, there's no way. Tricky business here, because I'll have the same problem with the putting in the new one, soldering it and everything, although I can connect onto the lead here instead of going right down to the actual terminal. Well, let's nip the other side because I can. Get at that. Well, I could try to leave that lead in there. I don't know if you can even see it. Green thing I'm pulling on. I kind of leave it in there and try to connect the new capacitor to it, but even that's pretty darn challenging in there. It'd be better to come through here and attach to the, hey. Moves easy. Yeah. Okay, we'll move this over, move this up. See if I get the cutters in behind there. Okay. You can get it and everything else that's near it here. There it goes. Oops. Pieces of capacitor flying off. There it is. Okay, you know, I've only got so many 0.03 capacitors too. Oh boy, I've only got 3 left. Then what am I going to do? I'll have to stop and order more capacitors. Okay. Need a little hosing for this one. Okay, and now we're going to try to put this in the same position as the last one, because as they say, the dressing of the leads can be very, very critical. That's way too long. So this capacitor, the one we're working on right now, was installed close to the chassis, and that could have an important effect on the circuit. We can't be sure. So we have to kind of assume that that's the case. Okay, let me get it out of there. Prepare the other lead. We'll solder the easy lead first. Oop. A piece of my green tubing just fell in there. Come on. Now these pliers have no grip on the surface of the plier themselves. They're just flat and smooth, so it's pretty tricky to do what I just did there. That's good. We can solder that in place. And it shouldn't be too hard to move the second lead once the capacitor is kind of anchored in place here. Come on. Yeah, I wish I had just another 6 inches even on my camera wire. And you can't see from your angle as you watch this just how I've had to set up the camera and the radio and all that to get the angles right. And I can't ignore my eyeball angle either. I have to be able to see what I'm doing, so it's getting a little busy here. Okay. Gee, I wonder if someday I'll be doing this via remote control using some kind of robot, you know, surgical kind of robot. So I can fix radios anywhere in the world. I guess you need one of these robots somewhere, don't you? Who knows what might lie ahead? If somebody had told me, gee, someday, Jim, you'll be able to just, with just the scarcest of source information, you'll be able to acquire copies of schematics, print them in your house on your own printer, my own what? And have them from almost any radio you'd ever like. I would have said, come on, that'll never happen. And now it's routine, everyday stuff, if you follow what I'm saying. So, will the day come that I'm doing repairs in Alaska from my home here using a remote control robot? Don't say no. I'm having a hard enough time using my own fingers here, let alone a robot. Okay, just in thinking about how the soldering iron's got to go in here after, I'm really going to try to just get it around that resistor lead, if I can. Now these capacitors I'm putting in, they will probably work, considering what was in here and how long it worked, and the modern manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. Even if they were made in China, I don't see that there's... How's that look? Okay, I think I can solder that. These components will probably last, you know, certainly 50 years, maybe 100 years. There's many other things that are going to be in trouble 50 years from now, especially all the rubbers and things like that in this radio. But these yellow capacitors, they're going to be good to go for a long time to come. So I can excuse doing things in a manner which lead to future problems, like soldering components to other component leads. Some guy 50 years from now, probably not me, will be poking around the back of this radio and wondering who took the easy way out here. And it's not so easy. I'm going to have to get in there and look at that. Well, it doesn't look good enough for me. Really, it's just the two wires are touching and there's a small bridge of solder between them. I don't like that. It's too weak. Okay, if I solder that, I'll have a much better connection. As soon as I remember what I did with the solder. What did I do with the solder? It's a little mysterious. It was in my hand just to, oh, here it is. Okay. I might bump the camera a little bit while I'm doing this. Okay, that's very good. We'll just trim up the other end of it here. One done. Very good. I think I'll do a video per capacitor, so I'm going to interrupt my video. Okay, so we're going to continue with the other capacitor, the one that was just laying right above here. Now, 0.022. And what did I do with the other one I took out of there? 0.022. They're all 0.022 capacitors. Oh, it's right here. What's that one? 0.022. Okay, so we can cut that guy free now. Free. Just preparing the ends of the capacitor. Once again, I'll do the easy end first. I'll use the what's left of the lead wire from the previous component. There we go. And now, let's get this other end of it down under there. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see what I'm doing? No, it's just hidden by those resistors, isn't it? That's too bad. I'm demonstrating tremendous prowess at bending little wires here. Okay, that'll solder good. Let's get this other wire out of the way. There's a big ground wire running right. Oh! Okay, and at that very moment I heard something crash in the room next to me. And that would be a cat up to some kind of antic in there. Oh, more crashing. Okay, I don't know if that went good enough or not. Looks okay. Okay, move it down out of the way. There we are. Now, what's next on the hit parade here? I'm trying to remember, because it was yesterday when we were doing the testing, trying to, I don't think I can cut that, trying to spot which ones were bad. I mean, I kind of concluded I had to change them all. But, okay. I think, what have I got left here? I got one. What am I going to do? 1.03. Start putting them in parallel or something? 0.03. What else have I got? Well, I've got some 0.015s I can parallel, and some 0.01s. In fact, if I do a 0.01 and a 0.015, I come relatively close to the 0.022 that I'm changing out on these. Except, of course, there's two capacitors in place of one, which is a little tight. But that's a way to keep me moving forward. In the meantime, I better order up a new stock of capacitors here. I'm running low. Okay. Now wait a minute. I brought some here. I have some here. These are 0.01. 0.01 capacitors. 0.01. Yeah, these are 0.01, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to relocate. Let's see if I can do this. Got enough camera wire and camera whatever. Now, like a lot of things I do, I just kind of jury-rig this thing together here. Oh, this isn't good here. There we go. Because I'm right at the end of the camera wire. Now we're trying to get in a look at this one right here, which I think I can tip this. And that. And that's the guy right there. Okay, just gonna stop for a minute and I'll be back.